Hey guys, how's it going? So now I'm going to talk about the JavaScript comparison and logical operators. So this is not really an assignment. This doesn't mean that you're assigning a value to your variable. This means that you're comparing your variable or some kind of data to something. So that's pretty much what you're doing here. So let me go ahead and just get started. I'll bring the editor over here and we'll start working on this. So what we see here is the comparison operators. So two equals signs means that you're comparing something. So for example, let's do the variable of 5, right? So let's do var x equals 5. So we've assigned 5 to the variable x, and that is an integer. It's not a string. So what we'll do is, and keep in mind that numbers and strings will have a different assignment if you want to evaluate. So I'll go more into detail about that, or more into detail on that later. So what I'll do is I'll do a console.log, okay? So we'll do x is equals to 5, and that is true because x is 5 and it is equal to 5. And notice that I didn't do the string version of 5, because if I do, actually, you know what, if I do the string, it will equal true as well because it is not exact. And when I mean that it's not exact, it's not being picky of whether it's a string or if it's a number. So there is those little details there, and I think I went a little bit ahead of what technically is a little bit more advanced, but I wanted to talk about this because it makes a huge difference when you're really getting into programming stuff. And I've run into issues where I've had to reference back to this a couple times before. So let's get it out of the way right now while we're at it, because once we do know, then we can start doing a lot of cool things with functions, and I'll go into that later. All right, so let's say that, so now we know that this is how it works. So let's move down to equal value and equal type. So this is what I'm talking about, where x is not going to equal to 5 because it's not a number, it's a string. So you have different data types where you have your numbers and then you have your strings, where a string is, I don't know if we remember the one that we did last time, but it was the encounter. That's a string right there. So that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for a straight up number, not a string. And this is why the expression evaluates as false. Okay? So now that we clarified that, and I'm going to kind of go through this, and I'll let you guys kind of assess this at your own. Just plug in some numbers there, play with it, see what you get. I know it's not really that exciting, but just getting used to it is going to be a huge help in the future. All right, so not equal to. All right, so that's a different evaluation. So let's do console.log, and then we'll do 1 is not equal to 2, because those are two different values, and that is true. Awesome. But if I do x is not equal to 5, it's false, because if we look up here, x is 5, so x is equal to 5. And because we're saying is not equal to, it evaluates as a false expression. So now that we know how to use this, I'm pretty sure that there is a not equal to value or equal type. Cool, huh? So that is false because they're the equal type. But once I change it to a string again, you'll see that it is true because we're evaluating a mathematical number to a string. And if we do the same thing here, like goat. No, it's not 5, the number, or even the string is not equals to goat. Now, I don't know if you guys are getting into the mindset of thinking of how you're going to use this to create stuff, but I know when I started, I wasn't like, oh, this is how I'm going to create this. But, and this is going to segue into something else later. Greater than. Cool, huh? So, for example, you can have a function like can drink, and like a function to evaluate whether you can drink or not, right? So, we'll do 21. That's the drinking age, right, in the United States. And let's say you're 18. Wait. I have to be greater than or equals to. And I kind of skipped over this because I'll show you why. That's... Wait. Hold on, guys. Got it. Okay. I had a brain freeze for a second. So we're 18 years old and we're trying to get somewhere. Because 21 is greater than equals greater than 18. That's why. So we want to evaluate whether the age is equals to or greater than 21. Oh. Dummy. And that's false. So, no, you cannot drink if you're not of the age. But let's go var age equals 21. And yes, we can drink. Okay, so look at what happens if you put that age is greater than 21. That's false because it's not greater than 21. It's just 21. So it will return false. So imagine if somebody was making an application that evaluated somebody's age, and let's say that there's a certain application that is looking for somebody to be of the age of 18, and if they're not gonna let them get into a certain site. All right. So if somebody just accidentally does this instead of this, then they kind of broke the whole site now, didn't they? So yeah, those little things that will kind of have you scratching your head and debugging through a whole bunch of code and trying to figure out why certain things aren't working, right? So I'm glad that we went over here. But you can use it for comparison operators, for example, this. So it comes in handy when you're trying to evaluate certain things or when you're trying to calculate certain situations. For example, our previous game, we wanted to make sure that we knew how much life points or health points or hit points, whatever you want to call, the player had. So if you're equals to or less than 0, then the game is over. So you have that type of logic that kind of has this certain continuation of your application or game or whatever you want to develop. So that's pretty much it as far as I want to go into comparison operators. We can go into logical operators later in a future course, but I don't feel like we're going to need that yet because we're not evaluating very complex situations yet. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and also check out and maybe subscribe to my blog too, as I will be updating these a little bit more often. So thank you guys and have a good day.